All right, let's get started with this. Let's switch over and let me know if the audio is working all right, because I don't know for sure. Let me know if you guys hear me well. Bitcoin is over 60K and I feel nothing. I don't know if that's good or bad. The funny thing is, I'm exactly the same way. Um, Man, like I remember the last bull run when things were like moving up like crazy. I would get that just kind of euphoria, greed kind of feeling, start FOMOing or something like that. But honestly, this time around, it's just after going through one bull run, through a bear market now, and you pretty much understand how like the cycles work and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much inevitable. But it looks like Bitcoin is doing something that's never been done before, which is possibly make an all-time high before the halving. So that would be really interesting to see if that happens. And if that happens, then this whole entire bull market could be something we've never seen before. For sure, the adoption is so much more different this time around, especially because of ETFs with Bitcoin. So the dominance of Bitcoin has to rise for sure. That's a given. That always happens usually. Going into the halving, Bitcoin's dominance can get all the way up to like 70%. And it probably is going to maintain that dominance. And then altcoins usually follow a little bit later. Has the Kaspa Israel event been translated and posted yet? Not yet. I'm waiting for that myself. I got a buddy that actually went to the event and knows Hebrew, so he was able to kind of just tell me a few things that he heard what Jonathan said. But it was a good event for sure. And what my buddy told me was basically Jonathan said, and this was in Hebrew, but he said he's pretty much finished perfecting proof of work. And now he's on to perfecting smart contracts. So he's actively working on smart contracts and trying to figure out a innovative design for smart contracts so that it's not something that's just what we already see. It's going to be innovative, just like how the Kaspa network itself is innovative. So I still don't think smart contracts will come out this year. I think it will probably be next year. The earliest is next year. I don't think it'll be this year. $10 Kaspa by Da Vinci, wow, maybe in a few years. Yeah, I feel like that price prediction of $10 was a little bit over optimistic. A $10 Kaspa would put it at about $220 billion market cap, and I seriously don't see that happening. This bull run. Now, I for sure could be wrong because, like I said, this bull run could be completely different. The amount of money that comes in could be completely different, but I think it depends. It depends a lot on just the environment and how the markets are going to react to the halving. I think the halving is going to be pretty bullish for Kaspa itself, though. I think so, at least. Let me see here. Yeah, Bitcoin's at 1.2 trillion. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let me log out of here real quick. Let me see. Where's the dominance? So right now it's sitting at about 53% dominance. But you can see like the last halving was 4 years ago, back in the April time of 2020. And you could see that Bitcoin's dominance was at 63% in April 4 years ago. And then it continued declining and then randomly had a huge increase again by the end of that same year into the beginning of 2021 to bring Bitcoin at a 71% dominance. And then the altcoins had their run finally. So that's pretty much, yeah, that's almost like six to 8 months after the halving before the altcoins basically had their own run. Now, Kaspa's been in its own bull market since inception pretty much, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, the fact that Bitcoin's not even at its halving, we're already at $2.29 trillion market cap as a whole in the crypto market. Yeah, probably we're going to see the entire crypto market get to maybe, I would say six trillion maybe. Just because we did, I think, what was it? It was like 3 trillion. So 2x from that peak. That's probably underestimating it, especially with ETFs, but 6 to 8 trillion maybe. My dog is going crazy downstairs. Don't get a puppy, guys. Let's see what you guys say. Hey there, thanks for the great content you put on YouTube. It helped me when I first found Kaspa. Awesome. I hope that my content helps a lot of people when they first find Kaspa, because I know it's not easily understood. And I'm hoping to make a Kaspa for beginners video, and I'm hoping that I can have time to do that. But I know that it's going to be like a really long video, and if I do make it, it's going to be pretty deep. Like, to explain Kaspa, especially for a complete beginner, I think you got to start first talking about money, how money works as itself, then introduce them into Bitcoin, teach them why Bitcoin got to where it is today, and then teach them why Kaspa exists and why, in my opinion, it's the only alternative to Bitcoin. I think understanding Bitcoin really helps people grasp why Kaspa has so much more potential in the long run as well. Might as well start out with the like for the channel so more people see these videos that weed out the FUD. The FUD for Kaspa is pretty funny though. I mean, like, there's not really that much FUD, and if there is FUD, it's like people bringing up the Genesis block, which I've already covered months ago, or people complaining about the security budget because the emission schedule is too fast. Honestly, that's like the only valid FUD for like the next few years is that emission schedule, because people are like, hey, the fees are gonna have to skyrocket. There's not gonna be enough fees because there's no one using Kaspa, yada yada yada, and it's like they're just missing the point of what Kaspa is gonna bring to the table in the future. And people are gonna use Kaspa regardless, I mean, like, if you look at even Bitcoin, it was being used without smart contracts. Now it has ordinals, but still, even without it. Even though I only jumped in the train late since I got only 10K CAS, hey, at least you're doing something. There's some people that have stayed on the sidelines or are doing nothing, and they don't even have a bag. I had a cousin that I told him about Kaspa at a penny, and he didn't buy till 13 cents. He was a big Bitcoiner, and I explained it to him. I'm like, dude, you legit have a cousin that's making YouTube videos about it. Like, you could just research, like, just watch what I'm talking about. But literally, he didn't listen until it got to 13 cents, and he was like, okay, I'll get some. Mainly because I gave him a hardware wallet, but he's still kind of hesitant. He still doesn't really grasp the potential. How's the married life, bro? It's awesome, man. The married life is fun. We got a puppy, and the only thing I would say is don't ever get a puppy in your first year of marriage, especially if you have an apartment. Puppies are a lot to take care of, but he's actually with me right now, and he's chilling for once. What do you think Kaspa will reach this year? Oh man, here comes the price prediction questions that I necessarily don't like. Um, it's hard to tell. I mean, Kaspa continues doing this. Kaspa continues doing this stagnation, becoming a stablecoin. Excuse my dog. He just wants attention. So I mean, this is what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is 50 cents to $1 this year. Somewhere in that range. I feel like that's where I think it could go. That's more like where I want it to go this year, at least, at the bare minimum. Because obviously, if it was to stay 17 cents for the rest of the year, that would be horrible. Like what's going on? But yeah, I'm my guess is 50 to a dollar this year, but I'm not really a fan of giving price predictions because then someone will be like, "Oh my goodness, this person said this price, so it must mean that." And if it doesn't happen, it could cost someone's life savings because they think that just because someone said $10 doesn't mean it's gonna actually go to $10. Or they don't realize how long you have to wait possibly for it to ever get to that price. So a lot of people don't have CAS yet. Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of people don't. What is Kaspa currency? 200,000 followers. You look at something like Cardano. What do I even choose? Community Foundation. 1.3 million. You look at Solana. Now, obviously, these have VCs backing and everything like that, but still. 2.4 million. Does Ethereum have one? Ethereum Foundation. 3.2 million. I mean, Kaspa is barely known on crypto Twitter, to be honest. Like, there doesn't have that many followers. If you go to the Discords, it doesn't even have all the major exchanges. There's so many people that wouldn't buy Kaspa just simply because it's not on Coinbase. There's people that are just like, they'll only buy coins if they see it on Coinbase and they see it trending. They probably see it trending on Coinbase and they're like, they click it and they're like, oh man, it's not available. I guess I gotta wait. And it's like a lot of, I guess you call them the normies, the people that are just Coinbase only people, crypto.com only people. And they don't like the loops you got to go through to get Kaspa. Some people just don't really like doing that. I think the future bear markets will look much different than in the past, in my opinion. For the market leaders, anyways, different story for the crap coins. Yeah, honestly, the bear market for Bitcoin, at least, like Bitcoin dropping 75-80%, I don't think that's gonna happen again. It could, but you just got to think about the fact that ETFs are now existing for Bitcoin, and these Bitcoins that are being bought with these ETFs is Bitcoin that will never be sold on the market, pretty much, because the institutions, BlackRock and all these other institutions, they have to buy this Bitcoin and make sure their ETF is backed 1-to-1 with whatever their customers purchase. And a lot of these people that have these Bitcoin ETFs are the people who don't want to deal with self-custody of Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. So they just buy Bitcoin ETF and just, they don't even think about it. Hold it long term. Okay, that's it. Especially if it's in a 401k. In a 401k plan, you can't even sell your 401k without avoiding taxes and everything until you're like 55, 50, I think it's like 55 or 59 and a half. So you just have a lot of Bitcoin that's just going to be dormant. It's just going to be sitting. And that started happening at the 43K level. So I don't know. There's just going to be a lot of demand for Bitcoin this bull market for sure too, and not enough supply. That's one thing for sure. So, and Bitcoin's price going up, of course, will later directly affect the altcoins, especially if you're in a good altcoin. Hello there, what's up, man? Thank you so much for saying $10 was optimistic. Yeah, I did not think $10 is reasonable. I think that's just being, it's just trying to get hype and views, pretty much, in my opinion. But Crypto Capstone donated $10. Thank you so much, bro. Great show, Silver. What is your expectation for Kaspa at its peak in this bull run? Any thoughts on Miria and what its peak could be in this bull run? So on this channel, my name is Kaspa Silver. I don't really talk about other altcoins. If I do, I'm going to talk about them objectively. And it's probably going to be pretty biased. But that's just because this is how I invest my money, is how I want to do it. And I objectively look at every single other crypto, just simply mainly because I view cryptocurrency, its true purpose was to become a type of digital currency, money. And I feel like the only currencies that are kind of in that realm of narrative and all that kind of stuff is Kaspa and Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, I don't think is going to become money or like more of a currency, but I do believe it's fulfilling like a digital gold. And if you watch my videos about Kaspa, I call it like the digital silver. And I think in the digital space, it's Bitcoin Kaspa. I feel like people are going to eventually have Bitcoin Kaspa portfolios the same way how they now have, like, some people do 60-40 on Bitcoin Ethereum. I think in the future it'll be Bitcoin Kaspa. And personally, I would have Kaspa being the higher position. And I think those are just the safest, riskiest bets to make for the long run. And Kaspa's risk to reward is probably the best in the crypto market. But I already talked about my expectations, at least for this year. For the bull run, the peak, I really don't know for sure. It's hard to tell. I want to wait on developments for Kaspa and see what's going to be brought to the table to really have an estimate, and also see where Bitcoin is within a year from now. I wonder how high Da Vinci thinks Bitcoin will go this run. I'm assuming like what every other influencer says, like they think Bitcoin's gonna go to like 500K, like some ridiculous number. If I was to put a guess, I'm guessing maybe 150, maybe, but we'll see. It's different. It's so different this time around with ETFs. So it's hard to put a price tag on where it's gonna be. This is the only place to get a realistic price prediction for Kaspa. Yeah, $10 would be great, but come on, live in reality. Yeah, I mean, some people just say like I'm just being way too conservative to think that that's not gonna happen. But there's just so many things for Kaspa that it doesn't have yet, that it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna put the assumption that everything on Kaspa is going to flawlessly, perfectly be implemented without any delays or unexpected bugs or something like that. Like, you gotta factor that in. And so I don't think it's going to be like this cycle is just going to boom $10. Like, that's 200 billion market cap, and that's I mean it will do something that's never been done before. So it's hard to realistically be confident that that's what's going to happen. After listing in T1, what prices do you all expect? 2x, 3x? I don't know. We did get an update though on tier 1 listings. I have it here. Look at this list of topics I have to cover in the next news video. It's crazy. Like, every single week there's just tons of things that just keep popping out for Kaspa. Just updates. I think it's this one. This is a former Binance. This is the guy who wrote the blockchain trilemma solver for Kaspa. He says right here, a lot of people ask me about when Binance will list Kaspa. I'm no longer in the Binance loop, but I do know that if it were up to every exchange, they would have Kaspa listed by now. The issue is that it takes a long time to set up a node for a listings wallet team of proof of work and layer 1 coins, mainly because they have to conduct security audits of the protocol and its coin. This process can sometimes take up to 8 months. ERC20 tokens, on the other hand, can be audited within weeks, as they are easier to work with. The tricky thing about Kaspa is that its tech is so revolutionary, exchanges have more difficulty auditing it, so it'll take a little bit longer than usual. However, I have no doubt that Kaspa will eventually be listed on every major exchange, as its daily volume is a gold mine for any exchange. Hope that explains why Kaspa isn't on more major exchanges yet. Yeah, and also the fact that Kaspa needs to be purchased on the spot market because it's fairly launched, so there's no coins that were like allocated for listings. Also, the fact that I'm pretty sure exchanges are aware of like the future hard forks that Kaspa will have to do. So I feel like waiting for Rust would be a smart move. I mean, if I was an exchange, if I was the leader, I would have been like, well, let's just wait for them to develop Rust, offer futures for now, which a lot of these exchanges are doing, just offering futures so that they could possibly build liquidity. They probably are loading up right now. That's probably what's happening. They're trying to build liquidity. So that's what I think possibly could be happening. I googled it. DaVinci thinks 250K for this BTC run, so maybe that explains the $10 better. 250K. That would be a pretty high Bitcoin. But I don't know. DaVinci seems so like he doesn't understand Kaspa that well. And he's like, yeah, I think it's gonna go to $10. And then he's like, oh, if it does a hard fork, it's gonna have problems with security. And it's like that's like at the forefront of Kaspa. Like if you do the simple research, you will know that it's gonna have hard forks. So I don't know. I've been told that he's actually had a Zoom call with some dudes in the Kaspa community to talk about Kaspa. So he's pretty well informed. But I don't know. Yo, what is up? I need to get this man a toy. That's what it is. He doesn't have a toy up here. And he just wants to buy my hand. Will you be selling all your Kaspa this bull run? No, I will not be selling all my Kaspa this bull run, most likely. I have my targets of when I want to sell some of my Kaspa. My first target I'm hoping for is to see 50-cent Kaspa. I will sell, I don't know, it depends how big my bag is at that point, but it's going to be about 8 to 9%, maybe a little bit less of my bag at 50 cents, just simply because that price point would be considered life-changing money for me, because it would be able to upgrade my financial situation. So that's pretty much where I'm looking for like my first target, but that's just a profit taking. I mean, I would still have a good significant amount. If you go check out my Patreon and you support in there, like you can actually see my bag on my Patreon, and I'm in detail of like my strategy right now, but that's pretty much all I'm waiting for right now. A 50-cent Kaspa just to take my first profit, which would cover my initial investment and a little bit more of a profit. And then the rest is just like basically gains. And I don't want to go under, like, I never want to go under 100K Kaspa. I feel like 100K is like that marker you don't ever want to go under if you do have over that already. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I would never want to sell everything, just because there's so many developments that still need to come. Yo. He just wants to be in the camera. I think that's what it is. Greetings from Peru. Your videos are informative. I play is to hold Kaspa until next bull run, 2028, 29, even further. Do you think this is a good decision? See, this guy, he's playing chess. You know, a lot of people are playing checkers here, trying to think about selling maybe all their Kaspa this bull run. This guy's like, I'm gonna wait till 2028, 2029. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad decision. I mean, especially if you understand what you're doing, you're mitigating your risk, and you're you're not being ridiculous with like, you're not just like dumping your life savings or anything like that. You're actually being smart with your money and you're making just an investment. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with trying to hold even further than just thinking about this bull run. I mean, I'm thinking about other bull runs. I'm not just thinking about this cycle and then all right, I'm done. Like, no, I think Kaspa has like a decade's worth of value to appreciate to. Decades worth. So I might about €10 a day. It's okay. I wait for the bull run. €10 a day is good. I plan to hold long term. Yeah, that's always been my strategy. That's another thing. Like, I'm not a trader, so like I like being able to buy things that I can have confidence in for much longer than just like 1 year, 2 years. I want to be able to buy something and just park it, kind of like a Bitcoin. I mean, like with Bitcoin, you buy it and you don't really think about selling that thing anytime soon. I don't. That's not how I think about it. When a hard fork upgrade occurs for Kaspa, will my Kaspa and my Tangent wallet migrate to the new upgrade Kaspa chain automatically? New question here. No, that's a good question. I honestly don't know like the exact details of like this is gonna work. I've asked Tangent and they've always said that no matter what, they're always gonna upgrade the node pertaining to Kaspa. Like they'll always support whatever fork is necessary. So they'll be the ones responsible for updating that. I'm gonna leave you guys the price chart right here, and I'm gonna go get my dog a toy real quick because he's gonna literally bite my fingers off. I'll be right back. All right. Hopefully he'll relax now. Why am I watching now? I have to go to a 6 hour job later. It is time to grow independent. Man, the work life is fun. I gotta go to work tomorrow at 5 in the morning. Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow at 5 in the morning, and it's currently 8:24 at night. I usually go to bed like at 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock every day, and wake up at around like 4 in the morning ish. Not really, like 4:30, 4:40 to get to work at 5 for a part time, and then I do a full time remote job. I do a full time, and I get off at 6 p.m. every day, and then I do YouTube on the side for fun. So you gotta do that grind. Stop working and ask government money for some months should be enough. I was just in crypto Discord yesterday and brought up Kaspa. I was shocked to see how many people have never heard of it, and even the ones who had didn't know anything about it. Yes, I've mentioned Kaspa before in the comment section of like major, bigger, way bigger YouTubers, and it's crazy that like some dude literally said Kaspa only has like a 30x left. I rather look at other coins, and I'm like, who's this guy that's just telling, like, he's basically just saying I'm poor. I'm like, yeah, you're going for a 30x. I rather worry about my other coins. I'm like, and I asked him like, what other coins are you looking at like that are gonna do more? And he never responded. So I'm like, a 30x is bad. You can't even get that in the stock market within 10 years of being in the stock market. You can't get a 30x. It's much more difficult to do something like that. Yep, still early. Oh yeah, super early. Speaking of cash over $4, this run is just shilling. That would mean reaching over 100 billion market cap. Yeah, I mean, after anything over the 100 billion mark is where I'm kind of like, I don't think it's gonna go over that point. But hey, there's people that will go online and say that Kaspa Silver is fudding because he's too bearish on Kaspa. It's like, I'm just trying to be as logical as possible. You rock. Here's $10. We're talking about $10. Thank you for the donation for up $10. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Only BTC and CAS. That is my strategy, even though CAS is like 99% of my portfolio. But I was getting mocked a little bit because I made that video talking about how I was opening a position on Bitcoin. I made that video and I opened a position on Bitcoin at 43K. Bitcoin since November has outperformed Kaspa since then. The reason why I opened that position in Bitcoin was simply because I have my bag in Kaspa is decent. I like it. And I'm still buying Kaspa, by the way. But I was not, someone thought that I was selling my Kaspa for Bitcoin. I'm like, no, that's not what I said. I said I'm going to be buying Bitcoin with my Kaspa. It's still very insignificant. It's literally about 0.15% of my whole portfolio. But it's still in a pretty decent profit. It's like $100 profit since I got it. And that Bitcoin was to buy and hold practically forever. I don't want to sell that because I still think Bitcoin is a good hold. And it's just risk management. I'm not a maxi. I'm a proof of work maxi, but I'm not a Kaspa maxi. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. Do you think we will see 10 BPS before mid-year? What about Dag Night end of year? Yeah, I was actually saying in the Kaspa Discord today that I think there's a chance Dag Night and 10 blocks per second could be grouped into one hard fork. And I do believe, though, 10 blocks per second, we're going to see that this year. I believe at least 6 months from now, towards the end of the year, we'll see 10 blocks per second. Dag Night, I know, is being worked on, but I have this slight feeling that they may be able to implement them both at the same time together. Because we first got to do Rust 1 blocks per second. That's the first upgrade. And then there's going to be a consensus change of 10 blocks per second on Rust after everyone has moved to Rust 1 block per second. Which I'm pretty sure that's not a hard fork. That would just be a simple like a soft fork. Crypto Galaxy said maybe $40 this run. Yeah, I don't think so. Alf has 1400x in just 18 months. Find me another one. 100 billion market cap is not impossible, quite far, but could happen. I think it's the most possible just because other coins have done it in the past. Well, they were very close to. And obviously, since we're in another cycle and the market caps are usually higher every single cycle, the 100 billion is like the possibilities. Anything way over that is like when you're starting to get like, okay, I think it will be capping out. 250K BTC is like 6 trillion market cap. Yeah, if you think Bitcoin's going to go to 250K BTC, and Bitcoin alone is $6 trillion in market cap, what's the rest of the market? So that's possibly seeing that the rest of the market is equivalent to 3 trillion maybe? So 9 trillion market cap total. So if there's 3 trillion in the rest of the market, how much do you think Kaspa would take of that 3 trillion? That's pretty much how people are thinking about it. What happened yesterday with the 20% rapid crash? It does not make too much sense, a sudden drop that big. Yeah, it's just because there's a lot of leverage trading on Kaspa. There's so much Kaspa on exchanges that this allows Kaspa to be manipulated. And when there's a lot of shorts and longs, they can be liquidated by the exchanges. And so you have those rapid flash crashes because there's just so much Kaspa on exchanges. And it's leverage. They're all leverage traders. People keep longing and shorting Kaspa, and then basically it just liquidated all these longs, and it dropped it really quickly, but it gets bought up really fast. It's pretty normal when a coin like Kaspa is on so many exchanges. But I mean, like, look at that. All these are exchanges here. 646 million, 471 million. Mexi has over 1 billion Kaspa. KuCoin has over 1 billion Kaspa. So get your Kaspa off exchanges. Use a cold storage device. Use a hot wallet. Use something decent to keep your Kaspa off exchanges. Don't trust them. Yesterday when Coinbase went offline, no one was able to withdraw their funds. What if that happens where you have your Kaspa? You can't withdraw your funds. Yeah, you hope that it's going to go back online, but you don't know it will. It's just, there's no point in risking that. I don't risk it. The Expos just confirms that we have all said for months excellent info. Yep. And tier 1 listing imminent? I would say probably one of them we're gonna get listed somewhere on tier 1 this year, I would say, but I don't know how imminent it would be. Interesting. I got 45k Kaspa there. Are you talking about an exchange? If you do, I wouldn't keep it on an exchange. Thanks. Trying to get to 50 if Kaspa dips. Only a 30x. Yeah, only. 50k is nice. Try get to 100k, bro. You can do it. My all Kaspa from 0.14 to 0.10 to 16 cents. Oh, you bought them at that area? That's decent. That's decent if you got some at 10 cents. 10 cents was the time. 10 cents was literally the time to just simply accumulate. Like, it was just like, come on, it was a no-brainer. The fact that it was staying so strong at 10 cents and nothing was happening, it was a testament of like, yeah, no one's really going to sell this thing. It's eventually going to break up to the upside. But some people were like, oh, it's topping out. That's it. It's done. Might sound stupid, but would you keep on DCA until 100k now or wait for the next bear? Only my second run, so I'm not sure where we are at the moment. Yeah, so personally for me, it's like, okay, if Bitcoin's not at the all-time high, you don't even really got to worry about should I keep DCAing. If Bitcoin's not at all-time high, to me, I'm like, hey, I don't care. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging in. Now, when Bitcoin passes all-time high, okay, that's when you may want to implement a strategy of maybe lowering how much you dollar cost average and possibly just preparing for targets that you are wanting to maybe take a profit if it's going to be a profit worth taking. Just keep in mind, like, personally, I see myself continuously dollar cost averaging even after Bitcoin breaks all-time high, simply because where my bag is at, I want to avoid taxes the best I can, and I want to keep as much Kaspa the best I can. So buying more now allows me to sell less Kaspa and still keep a lot whenever I get to the point where my taxes are clear and I can save. Because right, if I was to sell my Kaspa now, it's like a 30% tax if I take a profit. But if I wait 2 more months, because it'll be a year since I first started buying Kaspa in like March, the end of March, then my taxes get cut to like 15%. And I do want to have more Kaspa. Like, all the Kaspa I'm getting now is just so that I don't have to sell so much and I'll still have more left over. Yes, you said it. Proof of work, Maxi. Yeah, I'm a proof of work, Maxi. That's what I am. I'm offended. Just crushed my name. It's okay if you're a Kaspa Maxi. I mean, it's fine. I just think it's ridiculous just because I think it's ridiculous in the term of the word Maxi, because the word Maxi just has a bad name to it. When I think of Maxi, I think of a Bitcoin Maxi, and like, that's ridiculous. The Bitcoin Maxi mentality and how they treat people, that's ridiculous. Now, hopefully, Kaspa Maxi will not get this kind of recognition like the Bitcoin Maxis do, because the Kaspa Maxis, I hope we're better than the Bitcoin Maxis. I hope we learn from them how not to act, because literally they like turn off so many people from ever probably considering Bitcoin just because of how they act to people online. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's also just, it's not smart to not have an open mind to things as well. Wish I knew about it earlier. Feel like a Kaspa maxi now. Joking. Thoughts on why Cas not on tier 1 exchanges yet? Because it takes months to integrate for exchanges, programming more technical, testing, etc. require. Yeah, Timbo, I just showed this post from Nicholas. I'll leave it up so that you can kind of see it. But he basically explains here that with layer 1 coins that are proof of work and the fact that Cas was revolutionary in the technology, it's much more difficult to audit the coin for security purposes. And also, it's just much harder to implement. And so it takes about 8 months. I think that's what he was saying here. It could just be a bit tricky. And so Binance listed futures in November. And so that means it's only been about 4 months now since that. So it's not for sure 8 months later we're going to see Kaspa on Binance, because 8 months ago they did the futures. Who knows? Maybe it might be like that. But he did confirm that it's just much more difficult to implement Kaspa. All charts had the same dip at the same time. Look at the graphs. They did, but Kaspa's dip was a lot more severe, and that's just simply because there was more leverage. But yeah, all coins did drop at the same time. Always have BTC scarcity is an issue in the game of century accumulating, stacking BTC by millionaires. Cas, BTC, Tau, Cas being largest. Also RSRs, some huge things. Yeah, so yeah, I got rid of my BTC at 29K for Kaspa just simply because I saw it as a obvious ROI, better ROI in that moment. But now though, as Kaspa has already done a lot more gains, now I just want to do a little bit of risk management and get into BTC, and basically just hold both Cas and BTC long term, hold more Cas than BTC. Now Tau, I don't get the Tau narrative. I don't understand why the coin can be viewed as valuable. For me, I just see it as like an AI narrative kind of coin, and that it's gonna have one solid cycle just because of the AI narrative right now. But I seriously don't understand why we need a coin to do decentralized AI. I don't really get it. Coinbase held up some of my funds at 10 cents until Kaspa hit 14 cents. I hate Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase, I mean, I don't use any of the major exchanges Coinbase. I've been using Robinhood in the US over here just simply because it's super quick to put cash on there, since their debit card has no fees. You can put cash on there easily. And then on top of that, what else? Like with Robinhood, I literally just buy XLM and swap it for Kaspa with Change Now. And the fees aren't too ridiculous, and you get it straight to your wallet. And you don't got to put Kaspa on an exchange or anything like that. Learned about Uphold too late. And personally, I don't even like Uphold that much because their fees are just too high. BTC, 2.2 trillion market cap. That's crazy. Yeah, Bitcoin right now is at 1.2 trillion. That's where it's at right now. If it went to 2.2, then it would be at 100 and what? 20K? Yeah, if it went to 2.2 trillion. My name is actually mocking the BTC maxis. Yeah, BTC maxis are not happy with Kaspa. There's literally only, and I still watch, like, the only crypto YouTube I usually watch is Bitcoin University and CryptoJet. That's pretty much the only crypto YouTube I watch. Sometimes if a video catches my interest, I'll look at some videos. But Bitcoin University is the only Bitcoin maxi that I watch, and I keep waiting for a proper response to Kaspa. But I think he knows. I know he's not stupid, so I think he knows. He better just keep his mouth shut and just watch it. And the only thing he continues to say, if anyone brings up Kaspa to him, is Kaspa will never catch up to Bitcoin. And that's it. That's all he'll say. Kaspa won't catch up to Bitcoin. And I'm like, dude, that's not a good argument. And I'm blocked on Twitter by him, which is sad, but no, I don't hate him. No hard feelings. I get it. I get his position. I almost became a part of his position. In your opinion, when will we see the rest migration? I think we won't see it till middle of this year, into the end of this year, but we'll see it this year, I'm pretty sure. I don't have a big enough bag of Kaspa. When can I get a bigger bag? Well, that's up to you. You gotta buy more. If you want a bigger bag, you would have to buy more. Do you believe that Kaspa will depeg from BTC 4-year cycle in the future? What are your thoughts about the yearly halving? Well, the thing is, Kaspa has currently not followed Bitcoin because it's been in a bull run since inception, pretty much. Bitcoin was in a 2-year bear cycle, and Kaspa literally continued to outperform pretty much everything in the market. Let's look at Kaspa, and let's put it on the BTC chart, which you should do this to all the coins that you hold. Look how this looks compared to BTC. Kaspa has been nicely outperforming BTC for the past 2 years. I mean, this goes way further back. Probably better if I actually pull up the trading view and just put the Kaspa BTC right here. Oh my goodness, there we go. So I don't even think this goes all the way back where it needs to be. No, it doesn't. I don't even know. I think this is because this is the CoinEx chart, and CoinEx didn't have the Kaspa Bitcoin chart forever. But regardless, Kaspa for the first time has been struggling to try to outperform BTC. But at least since inception, it has been. So technically, it's never been pegged to it. It's gotten pegged to it recently because of the higher market cap, more listings. But we'll see. We will see what happens when or if we go into a bear market. Let's see what Kaspa does. If it'll be bad like everything else and do a 70-80% drop or something like that. Big guy, $1 in the summer. Oh boy. That's funny. That's actually my dad in the chat right there. Hoping for $1 in the summer. I don't know, Dad. We'll see. I was doing XLM from Coinbase to SwimpleSwap to Caspium. Okay. If you're in the US, I think Robinhood is the better option to load money quickly and avoid the most fees. Because I'm pretty sure if you're doing Coinbase, I know their debit card has fees. I'm pretty sure. And then their if you deposit with a bank, you gotta wait 5 days. On Robinhood, you can do their debit card. There's no fees and it's instant withdrawals. And I think you could do, when you first start your account, it's gonna be like $1,000 per day. But if you continue using it, they'll upgrade you to be able to do $3,000 per day. Instant withdrawals, no fees, depositing with your debit card. So Robinhood is the best option if you're trying to do Simple Swap, or I do Change Now. I like Change Now instead. Then to switch Uphold after that unpleasant experience with Coinbase. Yeah, I would stay away from Uphold. I feel like it's even worse with fees. Although if Coinbase doesn't list CAS, it will be hard to reach even $2 to $3. What do you think? Also, if we have another big crash, which price do you see Kaspa falling to? I don't know if it's true. If Coinbase doesn't list Kaspa, it would be hard to reach price points because Kaspa, without the major exchanges, Kaspa was having today over 100 million in volume today. Even without the major, look at this, $142 million in volume. And it doesn't even have a major tier 1 exchange. I don't think it'll be difficult. It could still happen. But this volume just screams to exchanges that, hey, you better list us. You better list us because you're missing out on all this volume. So the likelihood of them ignoring us this whole cycle, I think, is low, but we'll see what happens with that. Bitcoin University will talk about the mystery of Satoshi, the history of BTC, and its function as a goal. He won't be wrong. Yeah, the digital gold narrative is, I think, is what it's doing, but it's kind of contradicting when randomly he'll be like, I believe it's money and it's going to be used by people everywhere around the world, but then he'll make a video saying, don't ever sell your Bitcoin. So which one is it? I mean, it needs to be both. It needs to be money, it needs to be held, and it needs to be spent. So if it's only being held, then it's more of like a gold and a store value, not a medium of exchange. And I think Kaspa fits in the category of a medium of exchange a whole lot better. I think when smart contracts come on Kaspa, this could take away a lot of market share from Ethereum, because I think Ethereum is a failed design for smart contracts. So, and the fact that Kaspa's proof of work is, its proof of work mining is more profitable than Bitcoin. So if you go to ASIC profitability, and let's see, we go to profitability, look who's in the top. Kaspa miners are the most profitable ASIC miners in the crypto industry. And when Bitcoin halves in April, where do you think the miners who have lost 50% of their revenue and probably won't be profitable anymore will go to? A lot of these proof of work miners are hobbyists. They like to do this for a living. It's fun. Kaspa being proof of work already gets to attack a big market, which is the proof of work market. And it being the most profitable to mine is significant. And I think this is just a really, really good indicator for Kaspa's future success. I deposited with the bank and they made hold 12 days after previously allowing me to use them right away, given an open account with them in December. Gotta upgrade. Yeah, I feel like I probably should make a video on this, on like the best ways to deposit, at least in the US. But yeah, Robinhood is fastest and most feeless, because you don't have to wait, and you got to pay those fees for depositing with your debit card. It's really quick and easy. I'm never selling my Kaspa back into fiat. If I sell my Kaspa into fiat, it's to buy necessary things. Like I'm not here. I'm not like, yes, I want a Lambo. Like no, I don't want a Lambo. That's kind of ridiculous. I know it's fun and all, but I'm not what you would call like a moon boy. Like, yeah, want the Lambo, want the gigantic home. No, I just want necessary things to provide for my family. And to give back to the Lord with my local church as well. Dollar will hyperinflate. I don't believe the dollar will last forever. I agree. I just know how BTC maxis think. He'll also bring up forks or whatever else he can to use to discredit Kaspa. Be prepared. Oh yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for the Kaspa video. I really want to see it. I'm just curious to hear his thoughts and opinions, because that's what I like to do. I like to hear people's thoughts and opinions because I'm open-minded, and I like to discuss it in a civil manner. My biggest concern with Kaspa is how it survives once fees make up the majority of payouts for miners. It will need serious price discovery rapidly. I say this as a small 150 Kaspa a day miner. Yeah, for sure. This security budget issue is something that needs to be looked at. I did a recent video talking about that and my thoughts on it. If you haven't checked it out, you should probably check that video out. It's right here. Kaspa's throwing away its security budget. And yeah, like To me, this security budget issue is solved if Kaspa gets adopted. If it doesn't get adopted, then the security budget issue is going to become an issue and it'll be a problem. So I feel like to be completely overly worried about it is not the smartest thing to do, because in crypto, if your coin doesn't get adopted, then that means the price isn't appreciating and people will leave regardless. So I think there will be signs way before we get to the point where it is a problem, where we would say, hey, we got to throw in the towel. Like, this is just not going to work. We don't see it going to work. But I wouldn't be worried about it now. It's too early. There's so many unknowns. So many unknowns. So, and just think about it. Like, if Kaspa gets smart contracts and gets a stable coin, the best, it's going to have like the best stable coin pegged to the US dollar in the market. A proof of work stablecoin on the Kaspa network. I mean, you're talking like the most secured, the fastest, and the most cheapest stablecoin out there. I mean, USDT is decent, but the networks on it are horrible. I mean, like, people don't realize. Like, here's an example of the fact that just because you have high fees doesn't mean you're not going to get adopted. For example, Tron. Tron is a coin here, and they have a USDT stablecoin. I am forced to use the Tron network because currently a company like Tangem, when I get my commissions in Tangem, it comes in USDT on the Tron network. Their fees have skyrocketed, and I'm paying like $5 to withdraw my USDT stablecoin. People don't realize like all the ways these stablecoins can get adopted. And imagine if Kaspa comes onto the scene, because what other options are there for a USDT stablecoin? You probably have the Solana network, maybe a little bit better, but I've used it, USDT stablecoin. The fees are still kind of too high. You don't want to use Ethereum, obviously, because the fees would be ridiculous for a stablecoin there. So in the future, if there was a stablecoin on Kaspa with its already trusted community, technology, security, and all that, that adoption would, I think, if that comes in, then we'll be able to generate enough fees because there will be enough transactions, and the fees wouldn't ever get so high because the Kaspa network could handle a lot more load of transactions than these other chains can. Since you disagree with Da Vinci's $10 and think it's overpriced, what is your prediction this bull run in terms of market cap? It's probably possible since we don't have any T1 exchanges and smart contracts. Yeah, I talked about this earlier in the video, but yeah, I don't necessarily talk about price predictions because I just think it's kind of like, it's just a guess, really. And what I am expecting, at least for this year, I'll say that. And my guess is 50 cents to $1 for this year. I don't know the exact time frames or if it's gonna happen, but that's where I'm expecting, because it would be weird if Kaspa just stayed exactly here or just went completely down from here. So I'm expecting somewhere along those ranges. I bought my first Kaspa after watching your vid about Robinhood and Change Now. Awesome. Yeah, that's like the easiest method to get people Kaspa, because a lot of people don't want to go through all those other loops to try to get Kaspa. And that's the best, for at least for Americans. The best strategy I know. I came in late. Whose video are we waiting for? There's no video we're waiting for. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The video about whatchamacallit. Recently, the developers of Kaspa had a meeting in Israel, and let me see, there were some pictures. Yeah, right here. So they had like a conference, and they talked about Kaspa. Jonathan spoke about smart contracts and stuff like that. It was all done in Hebrew, and we're waiting for the English translation. We don't know when it's going to get released yet, but hopefully it's soon. I literally have this shirt, Michael. But Let's see. Wouldn't it be cool if we could buy ourselves real estate using our Kaspa 10 years from now instead of using the dollar? Yeah. And that's literally like why I'm going to be profit taking for me is at that 50 cents mark, because I'm going to buy real estate. Not for like real estate investing, but literally just because I live in an apartment right now and I kind of want to upgrade. But it would have been better if I could just send the Kaspa. And that's it. I catch all your content. I saw that and read that Bitcoin Kaspa Power Law article. The Kaspa Power Law article was interesting. It is interesting. That Power Law is really interesting. And I'm going to add it into the, whatchamacallit. I'm going to add it into the weekly news videos that I try to do every single week. I think I'm going to do a news video tomorrow. We'll see if I get time, if I'm not too busy, because I just be busy sometimes. I did not want to put that there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if we're looking at the Power Law right now, let's do the log. Like right now, it's pretty much, I mean, this Power Law says the fair value price is supposed to be about 15 cents right now. So, and we're higher than that. The actual price is higher than that fair value price. But yeah, it's been pretty closely following this. This website is called casping.streamlit.app. But if you go to the future Power Law, the predicted price is 18 cents for the fair value within the next 30 days. And if let's just put 365. Let's just put a year from now. The predicted price is 92 cents. But just keep in mind, like, this Power Law is not a guaranteed, you know? I mean, like, look at this. It's saying $20 by 2027. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. Like, to think about this. Okay, this looks like a change too. What is it saying here? $1,000. Yeah, I don't know if this is accurate anymore, because this was not what it was saying literally like wait, what year is this? 2034. Oh, I think he added more years. That's what it is. Because before, when I was looking at it, it was like looking at the 2030, and it was saying that it was only going to be like $89 or $100 by 2030. But yeah, if this thing continues its trajectory, I mean, like, it would be pretty crazy. Bitcoin follows its Power Law, but I think this is not taking account that we don't have major listings, so this could break. Like, we could break out of this trend that we're following, but we'll see. If I'll keep up to date with it and see if it's continuously following it. Is there any new hardware wallet that supports Kaspa? No, there's not. Currently, there's only one key, Ledger, and Tantrum. If you haven't gotten, I have my Ledger here. Ledger. I have one key. I actually have a Trezor here. I wish Trezor would support Kaspa, but they don't. And then my Tantrum is somewhere. I have it somewhere. But I diversify between those three hardware wallets: one key, Tantrum, and Ledger. Tether seems like a giant Ponzi. I know people have said that in the past, but I don't know. They've said that they back their Tether. They back it with US dollars, but they put those US dollars, they back it with Bitcoin, and they back it with bonds. So they literally like profit. I forget. Let's look it up. How much did USDT profit last year? Yeah. USDT profited $6.2 billion last year. $4 billion in interest in treasury. They hold treasury holdings, and then they hold like Bitcoin to back this 92. What is it? 92. It's about to be 100 billion. This 100 billion market cap stablecoin. they're profiting $6.2 billion in just interest. Like that's how they're a profitable company, because they just put all the dollars in treasury bills. So how long do you think it will take for Kaspa to get smart contracts and create a stablecoin? It seems like we're still many years away from that. I just say earliest next year is the earliest time frame, but if anything, the latest I see is the end or the end or beginning of 2025 into 2026. Yo, we're still back. I plan to cash out $10K of my Kaspa holding at 40 cents and keep the rest until several dollars. Got to keep the wife's support for my mining. LOL. Yeah, man. I mean, you got to take profits, bro. Like, if anyone's discouraging you or making fun of you because you have to take profits, like, dude, it's your money. Like, there's everyone has their target, everyone has their goals. You know, it's personal finance. Make it personal to you. There's nothing wrong with that. What is the short-term 1 year price prediction though? I said this earlier, but 1 year, I'm guessing just 50 cents to $1 for this year. Do you hold any other coins? Just Bitcoin. I hold Kaspa Bitcoin, have a lot of cash, and have 401k. That's my diversification. It's not too diversified, but I think it's doing me pretty well. I'll be using this Power Law article as a test run to buy the dips to get to 50k Kaspa. Yeah, I would be careful about that because it's not like it doesn't follow it accurately. Like if I get off the log chart, you could see that it does, like over here was completely underperforming the Power Law and for a while, and then finally broke above it. So it's not very, very perfect. I wouldn't really trust this to tell me when I should be buying or not buying. If Terra Luna jumped to a very high market cap on its first bull run, why don't you think Kaspa could do the same, hitting $10 is 200 billion market cap? I mean, like Kaspa's fair launch. It doesn't have the tier exchange listings. I'm pretty sure Luna had probably a huge allocation supply. You got to remember, when these coins do those crazy runs, they're heavily allocated to VCs and stuff. So it does make it's manipulative. I don't even think it's on the top 100 anymore. Which is the Luna. This is not I don't even know how this thing worked. I never bought this coin in the last bull run. I just watched it go up and die. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. What were the allocations for this? I don't even think it shows it. I know now there's a 6.9 trillion market cap, but what was the allocation for Luna? I'm certain I'm for sure it wasn't a fair launch. So much more easier to kick that price up way faster. Because I'm pretty sure they were able to get on major exchanges pretty easily too. Have you configured Ledger for CAS? I thought it was not possible as Ledger Live does not support CAS yet. You can use your Ledger already. Yes, it's not supported on Ledger Live, but you can use your Ledger. The way you do this is by using this website called casvault.io. If you have a Ledger device, you can download Ledger Live, download Kaspa to your Ledger, and then you just connect your Ledger to your computer, go to this website, and all this is basically a replacement to Ledger Live. It's actually, in my opinion, much more better because this is an open source website created by Coder of Stuff, which is in the Kaspa community. He's behind a lot of the developments in the coding area world. But he made this website for Ledger. He basically implemented Kaspa to Ledger. He helped them with the code. And he made this website so that we would have access with our ledgers. And yeah, you just connect it to your device, and then you can literally access, you can work with your Kaspa on with your ledger. And when Ledger Live implements Kaspa, it will still be the same because the seed phrase is still from Ledger. It's not, this is not, Kaspa isn't held on this website. This is just a place to interact with your Kaspa, just like Ledger Live is a place to interact with your crypto that's on already the blockchain. Can you make videos on how to sell CAS on a Tantrum or One Key? Honestly, I don't even know the best way to sell Kaspa just because it's just so risky. Like sending your Kaspa to an exchange, or you could just essentially use the swaps, like Change Now. You could just use that swap to convert it into something else. I just probably wouldn't do that for large holdings. But I'm thinking of looking into the VPN method, but I just don't know which exchange I would want to use for that. But we'll see if I can get a tutorial for that. I would hope to see Kaspa around 80 cents by end of 2024. We will see. That'll be pretty interesting. We can add pressure to wallet developers. I contacted Exodus and Trezor. Exodus got back to me and said they're looking into it. Exodus has been saying they're looking into Kaspa for like the longest, but they don't say anything. Trezor already stated that they're not going to be implementing more coins. They're just going to focus. They're focusing on Bitcoin for the most part right now, pretty much, and just bettering their design. But I don't think they're going to be implementing. One Key is a Trezor copycat too. They just did a bad job in implementing Kaspa, to be honest. It's still secured, but it's not the best. I think if a bull run happens, we're going to be surprised by how far Kaspa runs. Without a bull run, 50 cents to $1 sounds right. Yeah, I mean, I think a bull run is going to be happening, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be surprised at what it actually does. But yeah, when it underperforms, I buy the dip. Thank you for all the time and effort you put into keeping us up to date on Kaspa. We all appreciate you. Thank you so much, bro. I enjoy doing this. It's fun for me. It's like a hobby. And let's see. Oh boy. Carlson hard fork. Yeah, I remember if anyone listened to me in that video, I hope you did not get wrecked with Carlson. When did I make that video? Right here. The Kaspa forks begin. Carlson networked. Yeah. And I literally said it's probably going to look like Bitcoin Cash's chart. We have history to tell us what happens to hard forks, especially when they literally have no value to them other than, hey, we're ASIC resistant. Come join us. Yeah, I literally said in that video, I was like, it's probably going to do a run up like this, and then it's going to eventually end out like that. And if we go to CoinGecko and we look at Carlson, another 4% decline. Oh, would you look at that? Oh boy. Hard forks right now for Kaspa just don't make sense at all. This is another hard fork for Kaspa. Someone asked me about this today. It makes no sense. You're hard forking an unfinished project to rush smart contracts when smart contracts are going to be implemented on Kaspa in the future, and it's going to be on a way better network. I mean, to me, a hard fork of Kaspa right now is literally just is a money grab. The whole point of Kaspa is the fact that it's supposed to be innovative. It's supposed to be a playground for developers. These people who are hard forking Kaspa, why don't they just spend the time building on Kaspa? They could have just built a smart contract design for Kaspa now. It makes no sense. It's not like you can't do these things. It's not like it's Bitcoin where, no, we don't want any changes on Kaspa. That's not how Kaspa is operating. I think it's quite sad that people are still buying into Luna. Yeah, I don't understand people who are doing that. I honestly, it's like, bro, you really think they're going to burn a 6.9 trillion market cap or supply? If anyone's saying this is going to a dollar, like, dude, you shouldn't even be allowed to make videos. The max supply is infinite. I mean, at this rate, it's gonna compete with the U.S. national debt. What's the national debt at right now? 34 trillion. 34 trillion. Yeah, I think Luna's not too far off from that. It's getting there. It's at 6.8 trillion for total supply. So it's getting there. It's trying to compete with the US national debt, I think. It's ridiculous. But everyone's like, "Oh, at least get to a penny maybe." If it does, I hope if it gets to a penny, I hope they know how to click sell. Google Tokenomics for Luna. I could just put allocations for Luna. Oh, here it is. Look. Community pool, 30%. Pre-attack Luna holders, 35%. Pre-attack UST holders, airdrop, 10%. Post-attack Lunar holders. Oh wait, this is the pre-attack. Okay, so these don't matter. Pre-attack, there was an airdrop of 35% to people. And there was a UST holders airdrop of 10%. And then the community pool allocation got 30%. Yeah, that's why I was able to pump so ridiculously high so easily. I have a few GPU rigs on unminable swapping into Kaspa to Uphold. I do this to help pay power cost. Uphold is a good exchange in my experience. They're decent. I just feel like the fees are a bit too high there. A selling strategy for 100K Kaspa. That's a tough question because I don't know your financial situation. I don't know your goals. I don't know your risk tolerance. I don't know what you can expect. What do you expect Kaspa to be or get to? It's kind of like, what are your goals? Is like, do you simply just want to have $100,000 at a dollar and sell there? I mean, to me, I'm always thinking that cash flow to me is just a long-term decade investment that I will continuously dollar cost average over time and then just take profits over time. It's like an ultra savings account in my opinion. Swapping 12.5k ETH to CAS costs $310 on Tantrum. Well, yeah, that seems realistic. I mean, it's over $12,000, and it's Ethereum. The Ethereum network is horrible right now. Once Kaspa develops smart contracts and get listed on T1, I see it following a similar growth pattern to ETH. Kaspa is going to be huge in the next 2 to 3 bull runs. Yeah, that's what I think. I think really it's going to tap into Ethereum a lot, like similar. It's like the next ETH kind of thing, but it also has its own narrative, being like the next type of Bitcoin. What Bitcoin was supposed to be. I'm sure Kaspa will take so long to break $2. Maybe not this bull run because it's free, fair launch. It's gonna take same way like BTC. Unfortunately, people like scam projects. That is true. I mean, like being fair launch does open up the doors for the price to actually be possibly a lot less than what people are anticipating, just because a lot of Kaspa does go to miners and stuff like that. Now, the fast emission schedule does kind of help to disperse the Kaspa a lot better. And the longer we stay in certain price points helps disperse the Kaspa price. The Kaspa distribution gets better as well. But I still think the distribution of Kaspa is still pretty solid. Bitcoin's distribution isn't practically no different. I mean, you got like a lot of supply being held by exchanges or institutions now. Like Coinbase literally is holding like every single institution's Bitcoin. I'm sure, let's see, hard forks are just chasing the Kaspa hype with us miners, most pre-mine, and dump on listing. How did Luna get to $113 if it's so inflated? Luna before it had a $6.9 trillion market cap, it wasn't 6.9 trillion or supply. The supply was a lot less. Let me see. What is Luna max supply before attack? Yeah, you see, Terra Luna has a supply of 1 billion tokens. So when Luna first came out, it only had 1 billion max supply. But then when the attack happened, I don't know what happened, why, but they just printed up over trillions of Luna. So it got to $113 simply because there was a $113 billion market cap at one point in Luna, right? We can actually look at that just to show you how this stuff works. Let's look at market cap. Let's go all time. So let's see here. This doesn't even look accurate. Let me see here. I'm in the wrong one. Luna Classic is what I need. And we go take a look all time. LOL. What was the market cap? So here was, yep, look at that. $139 billion market cap. So that's why Luna at that point before it crashed was at like 130 something dollars, and then it crashed because there was only 1 billion supply. So the supply is what's basically the price is the circulating supply divided by what's actually out there. So you have, or by the market cap. So you have, if you have 1 billion max supply, $100 billion market cap, then it would be $100 bucks. Because 1 billion divided by 100 billion, 100. I think I did that right. I probably didn't, but I was using brain math. Why copy paste the Kaspa code before Rust? Why copy the smart kids' homework before it's done? They're just lazy and greedy. This is why, in my opinion. Exactly. That's what I think about hard forks of Kaspa. People who are hard forking Kaspa, it's like you're literally copying and pasting something that's not even finished. It's about to transition to Rust. You have Golang. What are you going to do when it goes to Rust? Are you going to just keep copying and pasting? All right. How long have we been in this stream? An hour and a half. Yeah, I think we're good. I got to go to work tomorrow. But yeah, this stream was fun. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the stream today. We got over 70 people watching. And if you guys are new around here, please make sure you guys do subscribe. And also like the stream up so people can also check it out. I'm hoping to possibly do a news video tomorrow. Hopefully I can do that. If you're interested in supporting my work that I do here, you can check out my Patreon. I have the highlighted tiers, of course, the $15 a month to get access to my Discord, where you will get early access to all my YouTube videos, giveaways, Google Sheets, tech support, convos with me, and you could track my crypto portfolio. You could track my stock portfolio, which is actually empty currently because I sold everything for Kaspa back when it was like 3 cents. And if you can't really afford that, I do have much cheaper tiers, and these tiers are simply just for supporting, and you still do get early access to all my YouTube videos if you do support me with a cheaper amount. And I greatly appreciate it. It's simply just to support my work here, because I do spend my time doing this for you guys, and I don't have to do this, but I do it because I enjoy it, and I know you guys like this content and want to continue seeing valuable content that you see on here. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a nice night, everyone. Don't be average, be different.